Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to East Vineland, New Jersey and Kubota Farms. And we find ourselves standing here in the middle of our sheep pen. Hello, Sean. How you doing, buddy? And we're standing here for a reason, actually. I wanted to talk about a couple of mods real briefly. One of them being a mod that is in beta right now. It's called the Real Light mod. And what the author is attempting to do is make some changes to the lighting in the game to make it a little bit more realistic overall. I won't get into a lot of the details other than you can check it out on his itch.io site. I'll leave a link to the download in the description below. You can also check out Farm Sim Guy's YouTube video demonstrating this and talking about it in more detail. It is in beta, like I said. However, the mod author is working diligently on it. He has already released what he's calling, I believe, a test branch version of it. And I'll tell you that did fix a problem I was having with it here on East Vineland. It wasn't a major problem. It was just a warning that would happen in the log, and it would pop up every few minutes. It didn't hurt the game at all, but it's nice to have a clean log, not have those warnings popping up. So the test branch did fix that for me. So check it out. I'll leave a link down in the description below for you to check out and give feedback. Let him know if you're experiencing any errors or issues or what you think of the coloring and the lighting. He's very open to suggestions, and this is a mod that is a first of its kind because it will. What he's hoping for is to be able to just drop it in your mods folder and you'll be off to the races. So there's no like on other shader mods and things like that where you have to do a little bit more installation and things like this. So yeah, it's got a lot of potential. I think this is great. The second mod I wanted to talk about was one that was just released yesterday. It's part of the Maze Plus mods. This one in particular I actually did a mod minute on, and it's the grazing mod. And what it basically does is it allows your animals, like your sheep and your cows, to actually utilize and graze off the grass that's in the pens, which they can't currently do. I have actually enabled the mod here in East Vineland, but doing some testing, you have to plant grass, or meadow grass or regular field grass, and you can either do it just by going in, to your building menu, construction, landscaping, plants. And I tried grass and I tried meadow grass. And they both work fine. And, you just paint it in, but it's expensive. And it was like $60,000 to paint this entire pen in. So I decided, let's wait on it. Let's see how things go. Maybe it's something we'll do maybe at the start of a new map instead of, being into a map. The other curious thing, though, I have, and I'm wondering, and I kind of want to ask the mod author, is this. Let's say you go in and you paint in grass. And you, by the way, you can bring a tractor in and a plow and manually even, plow up the land and grow your own grass. And that's probably a lot cheaper, would be my guess. But let's say I painted in like one little block of grass here, okay? Like, boop, just did that. How do the sheep and the animals in general know, like, how much grass do you need to plant in order for them to be able to graze off of and have food? And I don't know if that's taken to an account or not, but just something I was thinking about. But let me know what you think about the lighting in the game. It may not be very significant if you don't have a side-by-side, so you may not be noticing a whole lot, but I do notice it. It definitely adds a warmer, different hue to the lighting. My understanding is as well the shadows will be darker and more prevalent with this Real Light mod. So yeah, check it out when you get a chance. All right, that's it for those things. Let's move on. We are getting late in the day. It's about 4:30 October, and I decided to go ahead and take on this baling contract right here out on field 105. ZOWIE needs some help. She needs us to not only mow, but she wants us to wrap the bales, or I'm sorry, bale up the grass, wrap it, and sell the silage bales. So what I ended up doing was taking her offer to let us use her equipment instead of our own. The main reason being is this guy right here. The big old Krone M. Love this baler. Wish we had this baler. I mean, I really like our Kubota baler setup. I think it's sharp looking. It does a great job. But it's hard to beat this this beast right here. And I would encourage you, by the way, too, to check on YouTube some of the videos of the real-life Krone Big M's. They are fun to watch. No questions asked. We do have a Pottinger with a built-in wrapper. We do have this Fent, and of course you saw the Landini. We've also got this swather, which really we're not going to use because we're going to just make swaths with our Krone Big M. I think that'll work just fine. We've got a collector, and yep, the old Landini there. So I say we hop in. Let's get started. If it gets a little too dark, we'll just move on to November and finish up our contract in November. No biggie. Let's get her unfolded. We can light this guy up here a little bit. We do have GPS, which we're going to use to make life a little easier. I think this field is pretty square, but I think we might be better. I think it's a pretty square field, but we're going to start on this end here. Let's take a quick look at it, actually, just to see. I think it's a pretty square field, though. Yeah, it is. Pretty square field. All right, no biggie. Let's go ahead and turn on our GPS and get that set up real fast. Do I have lines turned on? Lines are turned on. Good. And A heading 0. And to me, it looks like it's facing the wrong way. So we can do that. And actually, that's pretty well lined up. I think I did a pretty good job. I don't have the Headland mod active in this game, so we're going to just do our best with GPS. I also need to change the swathing. And we want swath dropping, so make sure and do that before I forget. And let's fire up and get started. I hope everybody's having a really good week so far. Tuesday here. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you're checking out the boot churn series. We're making some headway there. We're doing some contracts now on that map as well, which is really good because that we are in desperate need of some cash, no doubt. Kind of wish I had made set up my button box. I know I've said that before, I think, but it would be kind of handy to have the button box going on this one. But we're gonna make this work. Make it work one way or another if I can get my... You are not lined up, Brad. You are not lined up. That's what we needed. All right. Yeah, I love the Big M. It does a fantastic job. It's fast. This all-in-one. It's got a nice wide cutting spread to it, and the swathing makes work so much easier. But this is a decent paying contract. I think we minus almost $1,000 for use of the vehicles, which I think is reasonable, at least for what we're using them, how we would use them. I think it'll be a good time saver for us to have the Big M in particular. I remember when I first started using the Big M, yeah, I fell in love with it right away. I was like, yeah, this thing's the Mac Daddy for mowing, right? But it took me a while to... At first I was a little bit frustrated with the timing of the front and rear mower decks. And it took me a little while to figure out that the game actually seems to detect or help with, I don't know how to describe it. You know, it kind of seems to be like it'll drop the rear right at the beginning or close to the beginning of the field, when the field starts, I should say. I didn't notice that at first, and it took me several mowings to go, oh, wait a minute, this thing's actually a little bit smarter than I was giving it credit for, and seems to drop that rear deck at the right moment. So I was always creeping up to it, you know, and kind of saying, okay, when are you going to lower? When are you going to lower? That might be I might be admitting some duh there, or as my kids would say, fail in a big way. But hey, we all learn different ways, and some of us are just a little slower, a little slower at it. But yeah, making pretty quick work of this field. Actually, it's kind of nice to get contracts like this where you can. I know for me, bale contracts, mowing and baling contracts can be kind of a lengthy and a lot of work involved, but they're usually one of the better paying contracts out there as well. So when one comes along, I try to jump on it. And ZOWIE needs our help. Let's take a quick peek at our contract here. ZOWIE needs our help, so that's what we do, right? Farmers do. Help out each other. And she pays well. I mean, she must be making a bundle off of this grass and silage stuff to pay us almost, well, shy of the vehicle costs, about 15 grand. Plus, we might have some extra. Oh, sorry about that, everyone. Again, wrong key, my bad. We probably will have some additional. Man, I keep doing that. I am really sorry, everyone. Let me get outside the cab once again. See what I'm doing here. Okay, I see what the problem is. Get my mouse working. I think we got it fixed. Yes, we do. Sorry about that. My Windows key, you know what? I did that. I haven't done that in forever. Oh, look at the colors. Actually, I do think that Real Light mod is making some difference on the. It seemed like it's most prevalent on sunrise and sunsets. Yeah, I guess the mod author even mentioned that he wants to incorporate possibly some different night skies into it as well. It's got a lot of potential. It could end up being a really, you know, I don't want to use the GC term, but it does have a lot of potential. I know some people, you know, I personally like the lighting in the game in general. I think Giants keeps improving on it. But I do think that there is room for improvement, just to give it a little more of a overall, I don't know what tone, I don't know if it's a softer tone, more realistic tone. I've read in some forums that for some people, the lighting in FS22 seemed a little bit too harsh. I'm not sure about that. I guess everybody, you know, it depends on, maybe it depends on your monitor and your graphic settings, and you know, for sure that's going to play a role. But I don't know, in general, I think the game looks pretty darn good, but I do like what I'm seeing so far with this real light mod. I think it's got a lot of potential. So yeah, going back to my accidental key presses, I don't know why recently, I've just gotten into more of a habit. I would say habit, but mistake of doing that. And what I need to do is go into my Razer Synapse, I think it's called, and you can disable the Windows key in game, and I need to do that. That's probably gonna, well, that would definitely solve my issues. It's not a big deal if I'm not recording, but when you're recording for YouTube, and looks a little bit silly when you're flashing out back to your desktop. Maybe another excuse to get my button box up and running too. I wouldn't be doing the Alt X like I am. So yeah, I've got one of those Logitech side panel deals, which I do like. I do like it quite a bit. I actually like it even more for American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck. I actually think it's, at least for me, it's almost more useful for those games than it is for Farm Sim. But I've had it disconnected here for a while because I haven't been playing American Truck or Euro Truck, which I do want to get back into actually quite a bit. They've made a lot of nice game improvements in that too as well, and I'll probably be doing some recording as well for that on the channel. Getting closer and closer to the Platinum DLC release in November. Actually really looking forward to that quite a bit. I think it's, man, that is some rough ground, isn't it? Little Big M's just bouncing around. Looking forward to the Platinum release, so I think the Platinum Pack's going to have a lot of good stuff to it. Looking forward to the new map. Kind of trying to psych myself up to do more logging than I normally do. I actually haven't really done any in FS22. I've done it in the past, and once I kind of get into it, I seem to enjoy it more. But I just haven't been in the mood, inspired. That's the word I'm looking for. I haven't been inspired to do it yet for FS22. Yeah, this is some rough ground. Or I mean, it just seems like this thing's bouncing around a lot more than normal, but look how steady those mower decks stay out there too. It's pretty cool. Man, seat suspension's going to town. Wouldn't be the worst job in the world though, driving one of these things. This would be definitely in my top 5 pieces of farm machinery. If I could, you know, for work, this would be definitely up there towards the top of the list for things I wouldn't mind driving all day. Not a bad office to be in for sure. Stereo, air conditioning. Sure, this thing's got USB ports. You can even bring your own, you know, bring your tablet, bring an iPad or whatever you want, watch some videos. If you had GPS, it'd probably be a little bit more work without GPS for sure. Seems like from some of the videos I've watched on YouTube, though, of people actually running these things, they definitely seem to enjoy it. It's got to be somewhat satisfying. And Krone's got some interesting technology for their mower decks and hitting obstacles like big rocks and stuff like that. It's kind of cool to see how they prevent like severe damage to their blades and mower decks. If I remember correctly from what I saw, they have some breakaway technology, and things tend to break away from the deck instead of jamming up and causing, you know, more damage than they need to. Just see the flexibility on those mower decks too. Very cool. Well, that we made quick work of. Holy cow. Yeah, we definitely made quick work of that. We could turn GPS off on this thing. Excuse me for that, I had to cough real quick. And let's head on back here, and we can go ahead and start doing our... I was actually really expecting it to get darker a little bit faster, and not being able to get into baling before nightfall. Outstanding. Well, we've got a Landini. I don't know how many horsepower these Landinis go for. Can we find out? How can we find out? Do these things show up under leased items? See, used objects, owned. Oh, we don't have. Yep, not under leased items either. I don't know if the Landini, if this is considered a small, medium, or large. So here's our Landini. This is the one we have here. So base is 190 horsepower. What does that go up to? Landinis go up to, actually it looks like 225. All right. So between 190 and 225 on that thing. I don't know if that's thrown in here to run the baler or if the Fent. Which Fent do we have? Well, we've got the 930, and I know those things have usually some pretty decent horsepower to them too. So if we look at the Fent real quick, and what did I say, the 920? So we've got the 900 series Vario. Oh yeah, definitely 900. No, we don't have that. I think I said 920, didn't I? I thought 942, 939, 936, 33, 7 series, 300. Yeah, 930. Okay, so this definitely has more horsepower than the Landini. I guess we can run either. I would think even the Landini would have... You know what, though? I have not actually ran a Landini, I don't think, in the game yet, actually. Pretty nice looking interior, not bad at all. Yeah, ran Fent, Kloss, John Deere, actually I think all the rest of them. Even McCormick, Massey. But I don't think I've run a Landini, so let's give it a go. We'll get hooked up. Let's see how it does pulling this Pottinger. This definitely has to be enough horsepower to run it, I would think. Now here's where things get a little bit interesting. I think we can do 150s on this baler. Let's see here. 150, 180s, but I don't think it'll wrap 180s though, will it? I think the Pottinger will wrap up to... This is the one we're using right here. I think it'll wrap up to 150s. Yep. Okay. All right. So we'll set her at 150. Trust me, I've made this mistake before. And yeah, gotten a big surprise at the end there with, I've got 180 centimeter bales and I can't wrap them. I guess that's when you break out the old, what is it, those Anderson wrappers and start making your bale sausages. And we can do automatic drop, that's fine as well. And let's just see, this Landini's got what it takes to get our bales done. I always get nervous, double check contracts, and it's like, you want these wrapped. I'm sure I got to make sure, you want to make sure that you follow, you know, the contracts to whatever details they want, because if you don't, you fail the contract. And oh, I'm missing a nice chunk of that swath, aren't I? Try to stay a little bit more centered on this thing. One thing I like about the Vermeers too, I think they have a little bit wider pickup head. I'm not certain, but it seems like they do. They allow me to be a little more reckless than I am being here, that's for sure. Trying to be here. But at 150s, we're probably going to get quite a few bales out of this thing. Be nice to have some leftovers for sure. Make a little bit extra money on. Let's sneak inside here and see if we can line up what we need to. So I'm running the round bale extension mod. If I'm going to do a lot of round baling, it's almost a must-have, at least for me. It automatically detects when you're getting close to the end of the bale, slows you down, stops you at 100%, so you don't have to do the stopping, go backwards, you know, that kind of thing. Or it just, to me, it makes it a lot easier. And I'm also running the all lights mod, which is supposed to extend and brighten the headlights in the game. I still try not to do too much work at night. I'm just not a big fan of working at night, and especially for recording, I don't think it's as pleasant to watch night work. I think it's harder, probably worse for viewing than it is for actually working in. Still missing some chunks there, but it always looks like it's more than it really is. It seems like whenever I go back and pick up any of the, you know, trimmings that I've missed, they never seem to add up to much. Not to say that it's not, you know, that you don't try to get it all, that's for sure. I kind of like the sound of this Landini. got kind of a grumble to it, doesn't it? So, if I understand correctly, are they not making Lamborghini? Is it Lamborghini tractors anymore? Are those? And I'm not talking mods, but in real life? Or did I mishear that from somebody? Maybe I'm mistaken. I didn't check before kicking off the game here. I was going to. I forgot to do that, but I thought I heard somewhere that Lambo tractors are no more. And the only reason I thought of that was because I watched, I don't know if you ever have seen or watched the Grand Tour on Amazon, which is the follow-up to Top Gear, the UK version of Top Gear. I love that show and was so sad to see it go. But then they came out with the Grand Tour on Amazon, and I really enjoyed that series. Then they stopped that series, and now they're just coming out with specials once in a while. Jeremy Clarkson, Maze. What's his first name? Boy, horrible. And I always forget the little guy. I'll think of it. Anyways, was watching a special today that just came out, I think, not too long ago, and it's from Finland, Norway, Sweden, and it's kind of based on rally cars. Boy, this is a long story for bringing it around to Lamborghini tractors. I'm sorry. But anyways, Jeremy Clarkson has Clarkson Farm on HBO. It's a great series. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it is really, really fun to watch. I would be wary for kids just because he doesn't exactly have the cleanest language sometimes in the world, and some of the other people that are on there. But it is really, really interesting to see. He's never farmed in his life, and it just basically he starts from scratch. But he brings home this big Lamborghini tractor, and of course he's always go big or go home. And he's pretty much ridiculed by a lot of people that he got this. Of course it's Lamborghini, so there's that. Probably couldn't help himself. And it's big, which I didn't think it was all that big, to be fair to him. It's a big tractor, but it's not like a Fendt 1000 series Vario or some of the big John Deere 9 series. I mean, it's not that big, but I guess for British farming, in the UK, they have to be very mindful of all that stuff because they just don't have the space that we have here in the US, and I'm sure in Canada and other parts of the world. But I sure like those Lamborghini tractors. They look sweet. That's for sure. And I mean, who doesn't want to own a Lambo, right? I'm sure for a lot of people, the name on the tractor alone is probably sold some of them. I'm sure it was a big selling point for them. All right, well, I think what we're going to do is finish this row, and we'll call it an episode. And I think, too, what we'll do is, since even if we finished this contract in October here, this day, it's really not going to make much difference if we finish it now or finish it in November. So I think what we'll do is wrap this row up, call it an episode, call it October, and Thursday when we kick off Kubota Farm again, we'll be in November. We'll be able to finish. Unlike real life, we'll definitely still be able to finish what we need to do here. I suppose in real life it's not so, you can't be so casual with that kind of stuff because you don't know if the weather's going to turn on you and snow or whatever else it might do, but we don't have to quite worry about it that much. And we are just kind of in a waiting game right now for our crops to grow. For our crops to grow and be able to start working on our own fields. But this is going along quite nice. I think with the silage on these things, I think they're yeah, they are instant silage. Okay. And that's actually kind of nice too, because any leftover bales that come out of this field, which I bet we will have a few, we can either turn into instant cash or we can always store them too, whichever way we want to go. Well, thank you all again, though, for joining me here on Kubota Farm, here on East Vineland, New Jersey. I actually quite like this little Landini. Might want to pick those up sometime. They're kind of sweet little rides. And next time you see me here, we will be in November, and we'll finish off this contract, get this thing knocked out, and see what else waits for us contract-wise while we're waiting on our next harvest. Y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless. And I'll see you again here real soon.